Ever feel like, bam, life just throws this massive career curveball at you?
Oh, tell me about it. I think we've all been there, right?
Right. Like, no matter what your career is, it's like it's going to happen at some point.
Absolutely.
And I think one of the biggest things is that feeling of like you're going through it alone.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
And, navigating your own career ups and downs, that's one thing. But being that rock for your partner, that requires, like, a whole different playbook, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what we're diving into today.
Absolutely, we are.
We're talking about how to support your partner through all of those career challenges, the ups, the downs, all of the things.
Because let's face it can be a real roller coaster sometimes.
It can. And we have some really good stuff to dive into today.
Yeah, we do. This is some really interesting stuff. We've got some really insightful tips from let's just call it a little birdie, a little
Some wisdom, some shared wisdom from the career advice gods.
there you go, that's it. To help you become just like the best support system possible for your partner.
Yeah,
And I have a feeling that, some of these things might surprise people.
they might. Yeah.
It's not like, your typical, oh, here's the generic relationship advice. This is going a little deeper.
Yeah, it is.
It's really like some practical stuff you can actually use, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that. And the first thing, and this is a big one, is being a good listener,
Of course. Yeah.
which seems pretty basic, but
It's always harder than it sounds, isn't it?
it is harder than it sounds. And
For-
our what we're calling our wisdom, our pasted text for today,
Chuckles. I like that.
is talking about how it's not just about listening, it's about making your partner feel heard.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Okay, so think about it this way. Your partner, they come home, they've had a really, really tough day.
Right.
And they're like frustrated, they're stressed, they're maybe a bit angry, who knows, right? About a project, about a coworker, whatever it is. And you are all ears, right? You're there for them. You've got the sympathetic face on everything.
Yep.
But as they're talking, you can't help it.
Hmm.
Your mind is like subconsciously already trying to
Solve it.
solve the problem.
Yeah.
Yes, or come up with suggestions, or you're trying to fix it.
Because we want to fix things for the people we love.
Exactly. And that's coming from a good place,
Yeah.
But that can actually backfire because they might walk away from that conversation feeling like they weren't actually heard.
Right, like they were just managed.
Exactly. Instead of heard. And that's a very different feeling.
Yeah.
And I'm so guilty of that. I am like the queen of trying to.
Oh, I'm a fixer, 100%. So
There you
I
go.
get it. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we have to kind of like take a step back sometimes. And
Yeah.
so pasted text is saying that instead of jumping in with all the answers, all the advice, try using phrases that show you're really trying to understand. Like, tell me more about what happened. Or,
Mhm.
wow, that sounds really, really frustrating. It makes total sense that you're feeling this way.
It validates how they're feeling.
Exactly. It validates. You're not saying, oh, that wasn't that bad. Or, it's really validating those feelings, which is super important.
Yes, that's good. Really good. So being present, I think that's the biggest takeaway from this.
Yes.
It's really being there for your partner. But what happens when they come to you for advice?
Yeah. Okay. So this is interesting because you would think that they're coming to you for the advice, so you need to give them the advice, right?
Right.
But pasted text is highlighting that even when your partner is looking for a bit of guidance from you, it's not always about having those perfect solutions.
Right.
It's about more being like a sounding board.
Hmm.
You're a thought partner.
I like that.
So, maybe suggest like, hey, how about we brainstorm some ideas together? Let's look at this from different angles.
I love that. It's not, here's what I would do. It's,
Exactly.
let's figure this out together.
Yes. It's like collaborative problem solving.
Yes. Partner edition.
Exactly. Partner edition. There you go. But then other times, the most helpful thing you can do is actually just being that safe space for your partner
Yes.
to just let them process all their thoughts and feelings,
No.
vent, cry, whatever they need to do.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes they come to that conclusion on their own.
Exactly.
And I remember one time my partner was going through this big career change.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember, like, he was talking and I could just tell he needed to vent. And I held back and I just listened. And at the end of it, he was like, thank you.
Oh.
He was like, thank you so much for letting me just talk that out. He's like, I actually feel so much better.
Yes.
And it clicked for me in that moment how powerful it is to just
Just to listen?
be present.
Yeah, that's it. That's such a I think that's such a powerful story, actually, because it really highlights that sometimes we don't need to have the magic words. We don't need to have the perfect advice.
Mm,
Sometimes it's just about being there,
yes.
being that like steady presence.
Being supportive. And speaking of being supportive, pasted text also talks about encouragement, which again seems like, duh, tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, chuckles.
But how do we make it meaningful? Especially when, like, our partner's feeling, at their lowest.
Yeah, so it's going beyond the you got this, or
Right, yeah.
it's deeper than that.
Yes.
It's about reminding them of how awesome they actually are, especially when they've kind of forgotten themselves.
Right.
So pasted text suggests, like, pull out those past successes.
Yeah.
They crushed that presentation a couple months ago.
Hmm.
Remind them, have they dealt with something similar before and they got through it? Like, relive that victory together.
Oh, I love that because it's shifting that focus from whatever they're going through in that moment to what they've already accomplished.
Exactly.
It's like, remember when you rocked that?
Yes.
You can do it again. I've seen you do it.
You've got this.
I know you've got this.
And it's that belief, It's reminding them that you believe in them even when they don't believe in themselves.
Yes. And that's huge.
It's huge.
And I think to go along with all of that, patience is key.
Oh my gosh, yes. This is a big one.
This one, yes.
Because you know what? Career challenges, they take time. They don't just disappear overnight.
Right.
So paste to text is reminding us this is a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay, so how do we practice patience when, our partner is stressed and, maybe a little bit short with us because of work?
Oh, that's tough. It is tough because it's so easy to take things personally, isn't it?
It is.
But the important thing to remember is that their stress, 9 times out of 10, it's not about you.
Right.
It's about the situation.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful to try, even though it's hard, to put yourself in their shoes.
Mhm.
Imagine the pressure they're under, the deadlines, the difficult bosses, whatever it is, and then just try to be there for them, be understanding.
Be that support system
Yep.
without trying to add to what they're already going through.
Exactly.
Don't try to fix it.
Yeah. You're not there to fix them. You're there to
Support them.
support them. Exactly. Yeah. And on a more positive note, pasted text finishes with something I absolutely love, and that's celebrating the small victories.
Yeah.
This is so important.
Because it's so easy when you're in something to get really bogged down by, like, the big goal, right?
Yes.
And forget that, like, hey, there were all these little things along the way that got you there.
Exactly. So did they finally get that presentation done?
Yes.
Celebrate. That is huge.
Yes.
Did they nail a tough interview question?
Yes.
Pop the champagne. Okay, maybe not champagne.
Not every day is a champagne day.
Not every day is a champagne day, but you get the idea. But those small wins, they need to be acknowledged. They need to be celebrated because it's so motivating.
It's like little boosts of confidence.
Yes.
Like, you're doing it. You're on the right path.
Exactly.
So to kind of wrap this up, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from today?
I think it's about being present, being supportive. Don't underestimate how important that is. Be patient because these things take time, and celebrate every little win. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be there for them.
Yes. Just be their rock.
Be their rock. That's it.
I love it. And with that, we want to leave you with this.
Yeah.
How can you create a safe space in your relationship for those open, honest conversations
Yeah.
about career challenges, but even before they come up?
Yeah.
Because having that foundation
Yeah. So important.
will make all the difference.
It does when those curveballs come, because they will come.
They will come.
You're
You're ready. You're ready.
We got this.
We've got this.